NFS STORYZ, Promoters Part 2. I'm here with Promoter Milton. I'm great, and you? So, I'm great. So, being a promoter, does it take to anybody to be a promoter? Or is it a specific kind of skill to be a promoter?
A skill? I mean, again, you don't need no rocket science to do this.
I agree.
It's just, at the end of the day, it's about who you are, your character, who you know, and knowing how to put a party together, because a lot of people could say that they are promoters, but it takes certain things, like finding the right venue, putting together the right team. If you don't have the right team, then you will not be successful. It's very difficult for you to do it on your own, because I can know 3,000 people on my Instagram, but it doesn't necessarily mean I really know them.
No, that's right.
So it takes a team.
Okay, when a customer complains, who takes responsibility for that?
Depends on the person, the customer. If I know the person, then I'll take on that responsibility as the promoter. But if I don't know the person, then I'm going to pass it over to the manager. That's his job. That's what he gets paid for. Right. He gets paid at the end of the night no matter what. So he's got a fucking job to do. Also,
when it comes to, you guys get paid for the people that come, or based on the bottles, or based on what the customers consume?
It depends. Every promoter has their own deal when it comes to the venue. It could be a flat rate. It could be a percentage. It could be a sub promoter.
It could be a percentage.
But you got to also make sure that you ask for the right percentage, because if you don't get a right percentage, then you could do a party and go home with change.
Right. Also, does promoter work alone, or do you usually work with the DJs and stuff?
What do you mean?
Like, the promoters usually work with DJs to come together, or they just different ones in the same flyer? Because sometimes the promoter will be with a DJ in the same flyer. Do they work together, or do they work separate?
No. If you're doing the party, then you're doing everything. You're getting, again, I speak in regards to me. You get your own staff. Wherever I go, I bring my own staff.
Right.
DJs, I book the DJs. If I have a partner, then me and my partner will agree on who we're gonna get. Depending on whose birthday's coming up.
That's true.
What DJ's hot right now. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, we work with the DJs. The DJs work with us. So it goes both ways.
I didn't know that. I like that. Also, so I know some places in Manhattan that sometimes they get paid per girl. Like every girl they bring, it'll be like 20-20. Do you guys get paid per customer, or like I said before, just per bottle?
Again, it depends.
Oh, yeah,
If that's what's happening in the city in certain locations, then that's the deal that they have.
Right.
I like to work off the strictly percentage. Whatever the bar makes, whatever hookah makes, I'm going to get a certain percentage. Depending on the day of the week, I get a higher percentage. If it's a weekend, then normally the percentage would be a little bit lower, but nothing. I won't take anything on a 25%. So.
Okay, I like that. I agree with that as well. Also, one of my other questions I have: can you work at one establishment, or can you work in many other different establishments?
Can I? As me personally, or as a promoter?
As a promoter.
As a promoter, you can do whatever you want. Unless you have a contract with the location. If you have a contract with the location, then you're tied to that place. You might get a few different nights. You know what I mean? No. Again, me personally, I do 1, 2, 3, 4 spots right now.
Oh, that's great. Do you mind telling me what the name of those spots? To come and visit you.
If you pay me, I'll tell you. No. Hold on. Right now, let's see. Mondays I'm at Parlay. Tuesdays I'm at HOA. Wednesdays I'm here at Bosque. And Sunday I'm here at Bosque.
Okay.
So 3 places right now.
Also, is being a promoter the same as running a club? Or
no,
it's not the same.
It's not the same, because I'm not. I don't have to figure out how many bottles we have of liquor. I don't have to figure out the schedule for people. But when you're a promoter, you're running a party. You have to speak to the manager, the owner. Again, me personally, when I go into a location, I have a conversation with the owner, not the manager.
Not the manager, right? You're going to the big boss.
Yeah. So I put together a deal with the owner, and I just pretty much run the party with the help of the manager too. Because like I said, I can't go downstairs and figure out how many bottles of the Julio we have left, or if we have any hookahs. So which has happened to me, because I've managed places too. So, you know, I work with the manager very well.
Right.
Honestly, at the end of the day, the best thing you could do is work with the manager.
Also, is the same thing running as a promoter at nighttime, or let's say like, I know some of them run like also when there's like restaurant wise. Like, does promoter also work when it's like restaurant wise, like when they sell food, or only nightlife, like in general, only night?
It depends. Depends on whatever agreement you have. You know, if you're doing like an after work event, so you're gonna deal a lot with food and stuff like that.
Do you think the nightlife is failing at the moment, or you think it'll get better as we get closer to the summer? Because right now it's winter,
I mean,
it's a bit cold.
yeah, we're actually outside right now. It's quite cold. But
we got a trench coat out.
Can you see it? We're outside right now. We're literally outside right now. Shout out to Asu. We outside. Never inside, right, nigga?
Always outside.
Is it failing, you said? And to do with the season? But we're talking about promotion or promotion in New York? Because promotion,
nightlife in general. Promotion, promoters, nightlife, everything.
So nightlife, is it failing? Not necessarily failing, because everybody wants to party, like everybody wants to have a good time. It has its times where it's slow, like, the beginning of January is a little slow, then you get to February, it picks up. Everyone gets their taxes, they start spending the money that they really don't have, but they have it to spend it, but
I can't wait to buy my taxes.
Yeah, summertime. Now summertime is a different story too, because summertime, if you have an outside venue, you're killing it, because a lot of people want to be outside. Everyone's outside. They're on a boat, they're in the city, they're on the beach,
they want to be inside, they want to be outside in the hot weather.
So you gotta, you want to kind of get yourself out of a venue during the summertime, or not even get out of a venue, but create another opportunity for yourself where you can, create a party and make money, like do a food party, do, outside party, whatever the case is. That's what you want to do. But is it failing? I don't think it's failing. I think it's more of
hit or miss.
It's always going to be a hit or miss.
Right.
I could be in a place and go home with nothing, and I can be in a place and do a lot. So.
Also, apart from that, what about when is your birthday, if you don't mind me asking?
My birthday?
Yeah.
December 8th.
Winter baby. Sagittarius baby.
The winter was cool when I was young. Now that I'm old, it's not that good anymore.
Bones hurting.
Yeah.
Also, do you think being a promoter or just working in nightlife, you think it's like a full-time, that pays the bills, is like a full-time job, that it's a stabilized job? They
ain't gonna pick up, can't drag our ass out of here.
Yo, look, they arguing right there. Ooh, I get spicy.
Oh shit, she ain't supposed to be here.
Is it on? All right, so I want before zoom in.
You saw that?
I was gonna ask, do you guys, as a promoter, do you have competition with other clubs and other promoters as the same day, other clubs be on?
Is it a competition? Not really. No, I'm kidding. Obviously, that's what it is. It's all about competition. Unfortunately, it's like that, because a lot of times there's a chance for promoters to get together and do bigger events. Not just like clubs and things like that, but unfortunately, it feels like everyone's against each other at some point.
Right.
But sometimes it's friendly competition, because I know other promoters, and I'll talk shit to them and like party shit, whatever. But so how you looking? All right, but it is competition, but it's cool. Like you gotta have some competition.
Yeah, make it exciting.
Sometimes the best thing you could do is have your competition next door.
You're literally going across the street.
Across the street, have your competition, because their party might not be so good, and with their party not being so good, they'll come and check out your location. They're like, oh shit, I didn't know this was going on. Yeah, right. Which has happened to me a lot, So I don't mind competition, and it is competition, but.
So Milton, would you mind giving me elaborate a little about your life, how you started, and how long have you been promoting so far?
Well, how I started, man, I started when I was young. I was like, You done arguing?
No, it's brick outside, bro. You heard?
His chain is what makes it brick.
The inconvenience was makes it fun, you know?
So, okay. So my history, well, I started when I was young. I must have been like, honestly, like 16, 17, around there.
Okay.
I was doing like high school bashes, like, you know, team bashes and things like that a long time ago. The name of the team was just so terrible. So terrible.
I mean, that's how we
I used to
start.
hate it, but it was Get Jiggy Productions or something like that.
Oh, you know the throwback.
It was old as shit. And so whatever, I did that. I worked with my boy Will Figure the Envy. Shout out to him. We did some places, you know, we did Tower View, we did, I can't even remember, it was such a long time ago. So, you know, it's been over 20 plus years, so.
Wow,
So,
that's
but I stopped for a very long time too, you know. I did that when I was young. Yeah, I did it when I was young. I stopped for a very long time. Like during the pandemic, you know, I kind of got back into it. Actually, before the pandemic, I'm lying. I did, you know, I started doing some parties, and after the pandemic, I started getting into it again.
Right. So far, being in the industry for a while, what is the most important thing you have learned so far being here? Like, you know, I know, like, in the long run, we make mistakes and we learn something new. But what is something that really taught you to, like, you know, be in the game and stay in the game? What is something that you learned that was so valuable?
What did I learn that was so valuable? Good question. To be patient.
Yes.
To be patient. To know that everything changes over time. The things that you used to do before that worked for you probably won't work for you now. You know, like back then there was no social media. So, you know,
I agree on that.
I come from the era of beepers.
I come from the era when it was like brawn winding and all that stuff.
Listen,
you know,
we used to do flyers, you know, printing out flyers.
Facebook posts.
And bro, this is before that. Flyers, handing out flyers, going everywhere, you know, with a team. And again, going up with my boys, you know, talking to the girls, like, oh, to the party, you know.
Right.
You know, from that to now, the social media. I mean, that still works, you know. Like again, if Instagram and any of these other social media outlets were to crash and you didn't have it anymore, then you got to be able to do the footwork. Because if you don't do that, then you're just gonna be like, all right, let's see who shows up. You're only gonna call a certain amount of people on your phone, you know. But I learned, you know, to be patient and to be able to adapt. Because if you don't adapt, you get left behind, you know.
All right, and also migrating. Is it important to migrate when it comes to nightlife? Like, even if you don't work at a certain club, would you still go and just look around and see if it's a new establishment?
I always do that. So I always go check out new locations. You know, I'll go to a place and I'm like, you know, I'm always like analyzing everything, how they're running things. If I know the owner, then I'll tell them, hey, look, this is not looking good. Where are we at?
Let's say, like, you know, like you said, it's always a competition and it's always different promoters, different establishments, especially when it's like an eventful night. What happens when you take L's home? Like, how often do certain promoters take L's home when nobody pops out or when there's no people, or, you know, when nothing's being really sold?
How often? I can't forget.
Not often, but like how does that work when it's not a good night, for example, when it's slow?
It just happens. You take L's. It's okay. Nothing. You just go home with nothing. You go home with $0 or something. You know what I mean? Like, it's how it happens. It happens to the best of us, you know. And you close up the place and, you know, cut your costs. You also got to look out for the venue too, you know.
Right.
The owners will realize if you're just interested in yourself. I mean, you're just working for yourself and not the location. So if you help them out, like in regards to like their budget, you know, cutting certain costs, then they'll work with you. You know, that's important. but then they'll do more for you.
I mean, like you said earlier, patience is the main thing you learned as being in the nightlife.
Yeah, you take L's. Someone can tell you they have the greatest parties. They'll take L's. Even if the venue looks packed, doesn't necessarily mean they're making money.
Wow, I thought it was like the more packed, the more better.
Not necessarily, because you also got to look at your budget. So if you got a place and your budget, like let's just say your DJ budget is like $4,000 or $5,000, you got to do, more than that, obviously, at the bar or whatnot. So you got to, and then again, it depends on how many people you got working with you too. You can have, let's just say you got to split $1,000 with 10 people. You go home with $100.
Yeah, that's when it comes to big group. Also, now let's get to stories. What's the craziest thing you experienced and as promoting in the nightlife? Like what's
this right now. This right now.
No, but I'm talking about like white girls. White girl drunk, or like people getting hammered.
I mean, that's part of it, because I also did security too. So and I got a security company too. So that whole being drunk thing is just it's part of it. So like the craziest thing I've seen, I don't know.
Fights.
I gotta really think about that. Fights is regular. It happens all the time. So it's not like a crazy thing for me to see. Probably seeing people fuck inside the club. That's pretty kind of crazy, right? I've done it myself. So
they get freaked out here in New York. The craziest
that, or I'll tell you, like for example, situations like that one, when the boyfriend comes out of nowhere, drags that girl home. Like, what the fuck are you supposed to be doing here? I've seen like women with other dudes that are not supposed to be with them. That's one thing. And here you're gonna see everything that you're not supposed to see.
And sometimes people get caught up.
Yeah.
So be mindful if you are here cheating.
Be mindful. Do one of these when you see the camera.
Yeah.
Or like fucking duck. Or
the crazy thing I experienced was like I went to this club one time. I know this is off topic. And like as soon as I was going in, they were bringing out a guy, like 4 people, 2 by the hand, 2 by the feet, bringing out the side drunk.
That happens.
It happens. No, that's how you know you had a great
night. When it happens the most? It happens like at day parties.
Yes, the day parties,
especially
during happy hour and brunch.
Hours and hours of drinking, so that's what happens to you. Get dragged out.
Hey, so Milton. So let's say for the young youth out there, let's say they want to start into promoting, whether it's after high school or college. Is there anything you recommend or any advice you give them out there? How can they start, or how they can start building, becoming a promoter and all that stuff?
My advice is don't be a promoter. That's personal. My advice. Do something else. So you're coming out of high school, coming out of college, and you want to be a promoter. Why did you go to college? Honestly. What advice would I give them? Be patient. I mean, there's really no real advice that I can give them, because most of the promoters are people who are already in the party scene and have a big group of friends and things like that, because that's where it comes from. Like that's what happened with me when I was young. I had all my friends. I was in gangs and things like that, and you just draw your people out to these events, to these parties. So if you're in high school, it's different, You're in high school, everybody in high school, you have your friends in high school. And
or after college, after you get that age that you're able to come,
Well, but you can still do like team parties and things like that. So you can be a promoter like that. But there's a lot of places that have a bunch of kids in the spots, so I'm not gonna say whatever. There's a lot of kids in the spots. But just because you have a bunch of kids in your party doesn't mean your party's popping. So
they most of the time they got no money on.
It'd be like fucking 20 little kids with one bottle, which is cool for them, but not for me as a promoter. But anyway, so just like advice is just figure out what route you want to go to, what works with your people, and get the right connections at the end of the day. It's all about connections, about the people you know. Not everyone's gonna open a door for you either. Like,
oh, that's true.
People be like, nah, I don't fuck with this dude, I don't fuck with that dude. Unfortunately, when you talked about the whole competition, like, yeah, but you got to get through all of that, But just be patient and figure out, Actually, most people should start as a sub promoter, right? Start as a sub promoter. Work with somebody who's been in the game a little bit, and they'll put you on. They'll teach you.
Right, and like you said, connections is all of it. You meet the right people, you get to the right places.
Yeah, know what you want to do and know what your worth is, because you might go to a place and they might tell you, hey, I'm going to give you this amount, and they're going to use you. Don't learn. You got to learn from somebody. I'm not going to sit here and tell you right now, like, hey, this is what you got, this is what you got to do. No, find that person and learn from that person, directly.
I agree. Even for myself.
Do you agree?
100%, because I worked in the nightlife for like a couple years now, and
nice.
Sometimes it takes patience and consistency to know the right people and know who really wants you to go somewhere and who just wants you to stay stagnant or just use you for like the people and then
Yeah.
But like
consistency over time equals results.
I agree. Patience is key as well. You can't get frustrated. The faster you go, the faster.
Oh, I get frustrated all the time.
But this is NFS Stories. I hope you guys enjoy Promoter Milton Part 2. My name is Cssdevine. If you know it, get to know it. And I hope you guys enjoy. And estamos aquí.